Welcome, 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 everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Yes, yes. Yes, welcome to this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. It is Tuesday, yes. Like, what today is. And we are talking all things LinkedIn, y'all. Now, y'all know that I love to talk about LinkedIn. We're going to be talking about collaboration and, of course, government contracts and how that all ties in. Y'all know I got to tie that in. So I have someone who loves to talk about LinkedIn like I like to talk about LinkedIn and about collaboration. And so, Rob, if you can introduce yourself and tell us all about you.
Yes, peace and blessings, Michelle. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you. I'm Rob YB Youngblood, two-time author, consultant, coach, and the founder of the Collaboration Creates Currency movement, which is focused on impacting 100,000 lives this year. And the way that we're going to do that is by empowering business owners, entrepreneurs, job seekers to increase their influence, impact, and of course, their income. And so we have a desire to break the cycle of poverty and build wealth one connection at a time. And I was inspired to do that because I grew up in a single parent home. My father was murdered when I was 2. And I don't share that to gain any sympathy, but just to let folks know who they're listening to, because it's very difficult to, listen to somebody who may not have done what you're striving to do. And so there may be some people who can relate to me just simply off of the fact of my upbringing. And so I'm excited about being here with you today.
I love it. I love it. So it's funny that Rob and we connected on LinkedIn, but it was like via Instagram.
Mhm.
And so I was working with this client and I had came across a testimonial. And the only thing I heard was, oh yeah, and Rob knows LinkedIn. I was like, what? Wait a minute. I'm going on LinkedIn. And I saw him, I reached out and we began to talk again, all things LinkedIn, and which is important. It's bigger than just where you get a job. It's where you can collaborate and where you can find millions. And we're going to talk about that. But going into what really inspired you to create the Collaboration Creates Currency movement.
Yeah, so I first of all, LinkedIn, I've been connected to the LinkedIn platform since 2007. I was working for a nonprofit organization and it afforded me the opportunity to meet people as I was out networking and building relationships. So the Collaboration Creates Currency movement is something that I've been doing since 2004, 2007 when I got connected to LinkedIn. And I was truly inspired by the number one motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas, who he himself had to overcome adversity and poverty. So he was born to a teenage mother. He was homeless, lived in abandoned buildings, ate out of trash cans, third generation high school dropout. But now he's achieved a high level of success. And he talks about the two reasons or the two things that helped him to get to where he is today was one, his relationship with the creator, and two, collaborations that created currency for him. And so I took that knowledge that he had passed on, and I said, what can I do to empower people to see collaboration as a strategy for creating currency? And so that's what prompted the movement. And it actually was initiated and birthed by my second book, which is called Collaboration Creates Currency, the Blueprint for Visibility, Credibility, and Profitability.
I love that because I was looking out. Is that the one that you actually collaborated with others with that book? Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my second book, actually. My first book is called Speak Up, The Ultimate Guide to Dominating the Speaking Industry, which was put together by the Black Speakers Network, which brought together about 30 plus speakers along with Les Brown and Dr. George C. Fraser. And so my second book is also a collaborative book project, but it consists of 4 other members of my network who I had the pleasure of working with directly. They were my clients. And so I was working for a publishing company at the time, and I wanted to find ways to help authors or aspiring authors to become authors. And one of the best ways to do that is to align yourself with some type of an anthology, which gets you an introduction to being an author, and then you can build on that. So yes, that book is a collaborative book project.
I love it. It's I've done my first one. I don't know when it's coming out, but I find it interesting because of course, we talked, I'm an author myself. And when you begin to just put the ideas on paper, people will find you,
Hmm.
and when
Hmm.
we talk about collaboration, I had met a husband and wife team who found the book that my youngest son and we collaborated on, and now they're using the program for their all boys group.
Mm.
Found me through LinkedIn. We began to have conversations. I'm super excited. They're coming on next week. And it's all, like you said, it's all about collaboration. It's like what I have to offer and what you have to offer. People are looking for it, but if we're not out there, we go back to LinkedIn.
Yep.
If you're not out there and putting your best foot forward and letting people know about your gifts and talents, they don't know that you are the solution to their problem.
Right.
And that's really really huge. So again, as we're talking, guys, I know you're on lunch, you're hearing us talk, and I need y'all to be on LinkedIn. Okay, so one of the things that I got all the time was like, Michelle, LinkedIn is like just a professional Facebook, and I laugh like ha 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 ha, not so. So what separates LinkedIn from other social media platforms that you found?
Yeah, that's like the number. That's in the top five of questions that I get whenever I'm asked about that. But what separates LinkedIn from all the other platforms, specifically Instagram and Facebook, is that it's a place where you can highlight your professional achievements while also showcasing your professional brand along with your personal brand. And so, LinkedIn has evolved from just a site that allows for job seekers to connect with recruiters. It still handles that. That's a still major function of LinkedIn, but it now is a public relations tool. I heard Bill Gates, or read a quote from Bill Gates where he said, "If I was down to my last dime in business, I would invest in public relations." And the reason why is because you want to control the narrative. You mentioned visibility, right? If people don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. And so you could be promoting your personal side using Facebook and Instagram, but where can I find the impact you're making in the marketplace? And that's
Hmm.
where LinkedIn allows you to showcase that. I mean, just having your ability to put recommendations on your LinkedIn profile. There's no other platform that's allowing you to do that. So to be able to say, "Hey, I'm sweet using LinkedIn or helping people use LinkedIn," but then to have somebody else say it, that's where the credibility comes from, and that's frankly how you and I connected. I shared content on Instagram because I know that my audience is on Instagram not knowing how to use LinkedIn. And so I'm using the platform to attract. But then once they get to my profile, they're going to be able to see some things that's going to allow them to say, you know what? Yeah, I think I want to work with this guy because my profile will speak to them before they speak to me. Right. And that's what I
That's good.
teach my clients. How do you get your LinkedIn profile to speak for you before people speak to you? And so that's where LinkedIn separates itself from every other platform.
I love that, and I tell individuals, I'm like, we don't want to see what you ate for lunch. I was like, I shouldn't see any food on LinkedIn unless you are a caterer. If that's
Or chef, you want to
right,
prepare
right.
food, something, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's like corporations, they look for that. They are
Hmm.
looking for a chef. They are looking for a caterer for
Hmm.
their next sales conference. Music. If that's your thing, if you are a DJ or if you do live music, that makes sense. That is your profession.
Hmm.
And you made a very good point of that. When I want to know the professional side of you, that I'm not going to go to Facebook. I'm not going to go to Instagram. I'm going to go to LinkedIn.
Hmm.
And with that, going to LinkedIn and knowing that the setup is the same. So when they look at my profile and they look at your profile, it's really easy comparison.
Hmm.
And I know people are just like missing out on that. And like you said, it's more than just jobs. I had a client, yes, I know I'm like inserting this a little early, that she had her government certifications, but she didn't know how to use LinkedIn. We got her LinkedIn up, it was just, I'm gonna say it was smoking, right? And within 2 weeks she had signed a multi-million-dollar contract. Now, the thing was, investors were looking for her, but because she didn't have her LinkedIn established like she needed to, they were looking at, because you guys are out there, your investors are out there. The question is, do you know how to leverage LinkedIn? And with that, she got this multi-million-dollar contract. They were like, we were looking, they were like, we bypassed your profile, but we didn't think you had anything. But then all of a sudden it popped up again when we did our search, and we knew that you were the solution to our problem.
Right.
It's like, are you the solution to the problem,
You're
y'all?
the solution. And that's another thing about leveraging LinkedIn is your ability to promote yourself as the solution. Right. So many times people want to pitch, they want to sell, they want to, do all the things, but are they promoting themselves as a solution to a specific problem? Right. I was talking to a gentleman he's a sales guy, he works for a painting company. And so his goal was to find homeowners in a specific area. And so I asked him, I said, well, who would you want to align yourself with to get in front of your ideal person? And he mentioned realtors, which makes sense, designers, like interior designers, and landscaping companies, which also makes sense, because if I'm, if I own a landscape company and I'm working in residential, I'm cutting the outside, I could see where a home might need some paint work done. Right. And so what LinkedIn allows for you to do is to now cultivate these connections that lead to collaboration and currency. So yeah, definitely it's important for people to see LinkedIn differently, but it actually starts with that. It starts with their mindset, right? If I constantly see a resource as something that it's not, I'm not going to use it. So there's a lot of folks who are not using LinkedIn to the fullest because, one, they're like, well, I'm gainfully employed. Why do I need to be on LinkedIn? Well, you might not be gainfully employed next week. With the way that the marketplace is going, the stuff that happens, it's better for you to cultivate and build relationships when you don't need them.
Yes.
Than when you're struggling and you need them, right? And you become desperate. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, you are able to promote yourself as the go-to person for a specific challenge. So if you are currently employed, you may still have a solution that other people could benefit from. So now you build up your currency by adding value to others. Then other folks might say, well, I own a business. I don't need to be on LinkedIn. I don't need a job. No, but you need more customers. Right? Yep. But you need to be able to get ahead of your competitors.
Right.
Because here's the reality. You might not be on LinkedIn, but your competitors are. And if your competitors are on there, then when you go around and see where can I find these clients, your competitors have them all, because your competitors are starting to shift to LinkedIn, and they're going to use that to find the ideal prospects that were actually looking for you, but because you didn't exist, they had to go with number 2, 3, or 4.
People like, y'all didn't exist. Y'all just invisible. Don't be invisible. And I love it. I don't know. Our Facebook user is saying this is a great point. This is so good. This is something that we're thinking about. And if you are leaving comments, I'm sorry if I can't see them, because this is really important. This is, like some people's like saying like, this is a digital resume. And it's like, it's yes and no. Like if you ever printed up your profile from LinkedIn, I think mine's is like 15 pages. So no, not quite a resume, because nobody's reading that.
But it is a resume from the perspective of, and this is where everybody has to understand, a resume gets you the interview. The resume is a marketing tool, right? So the resume is not going to get you the job. It's going to get you the look. So if your resume is set up in such a way that it promotes the impact and results that you bring to organizations, the person who gets that resume, they're looking for that.
Absolutely.
So we have to move away from the task that we performed, and nobody cares about that. What they want to know is, are you increasing revenue?
Yes.
Are you decreasing expenses? Are you bringing hundreds of people to the organization? Like, this is what they want to know. They want to know what value. If we, for example, basketball, right? They just had the All-Star game, right? If you play basketball and you generate 30 points a game, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists, and you've been consistent over your career, man, other teams like we want somebody that's producing like that. So what are your stats?
I love it.
Right? And are you promoting your stats? Do you even know your stats? Because if you don't, that's where you need to start. Not LinkedIn. You need to take an inventory and have clarity over who you are, what you do, why you do what you do, who you serve, what results do you get for the people you serve, right? What's your gift? What's your gap? And then what are your goals? And being able to promote that. Because no, I might not be Michelle's ideal prospect or client, but if I know what her goal is, I may have connections to people that can now help her to facilitate or reach that goal. So it really starts with clarity. And once we have clarity, then we can move forward to begin to communicate the value that we bring to the marketplace. And that's really what sets LinkedIn apart from every other platform.
I love that. You said your, was it gifts, gap, and goal? Did I have
Gifts,
that in the right order?
yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep. What are your gifts? What are your gaps? What are your goals? Right? Because what are your gaps? And the reason why we asked about the gaps, right, is because everybody has a gap.
That's right.
Now, I use those 3 G's mainly to move away from asking somebody, how can I help you? Because if you and I meet for the first time and I say, Michelle, how can I help you? You're gonna say, I don't know. What do you do? What can you do? So now we playing ring around the rosy. But if I ask you what are your gaps, and you start telling me what your gaps are, you have actually become more transparent and shared a situation where now, whether I can help you or not, I can add value by helping you to shrink your gap.
Absolutely.
So we should, even if you're gainfully employed, and even if you got a thriving business, you might want to get on LinkedIn to help other people close their gaps.
I love that. Your solution. That's the thing. It's like, you know, people may say, oh yeah, we hear it all the time, but your gift makes room for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how many times have I been reached, you know, somebody reached out to me like, okay, Michelle, we want you to set up this program for X, Y, and Z, and we want you to do this. Or Michelle, we saw that you had this out here. Again, with the book that my son and we created, that, you know, of course, I got it out there on Amazon, but the first place he went was LinkedIn. He was like, I didn't go to your author's page. He was like, I went to LinkedIn and I saw what you did and how passionate you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, my wife and I was like, this is it. This is what we want to do. This is who we need to connect with. And I love that because they saw me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, with having 2 sons, so, you know, mom, 2 sons, 2 daughters, it's important for me to ensure that my sons know how important they are.
Right.
You know, a lot of times you're out there listening to just foolishness, or foolishness is out there for both the young, you know, the girls and for the boys. And so for my young men, I need them to know that I need y'all to be at your highest level of success, because that helps so many other people.
Right.
You know, and being a mom, I saw that, you know, and I knew, even though I'm a female, that I needed a male's point of view. So I got my son.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
At first he was like, oh, but then afterwards he was like, no, mom, we need to this and this. And I loved it. And it does show the male's touch.
Yeah, another way LinkedIn can be helpful, right? Because there may be some people that's listening and say, you know what, I'm good on all that business talk. You can actually find your board of directors, especially if you are a solopreneur. We should all have a personal board of directors. So you mentioned your son. Your personal board of directors are people who have done or are doing what you're striving to do, or they've succeeded in some aspect of business or life. And they can be people that can guide you in the right direction, or they can open up doors for you, or they can give you some feedback that you might not have seen. So for example, like I'm looking at your screen, you're looking at my screen. I can see what's behind you, you can see what's behind me. And so we need to have people around us who can say, listen, have you ever considered this? Or you're kind of going down a path that could be, that could destroy what you've been building. You might want to consider this. So even if you use LinkedIn to focus on strengthening relationships, it will be a valuable tool for you so that you can get to the next level without stepping on landmines. Because in business, there's a lot of landmines.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that we don't know. But if we get around people who have experience, they can tell us, listen, you might want to be mindful of this, especially in the federal contracting space of what you do. You can say, listen, you're gonna get discouraged by this. So work with me so I can make sure you remain encouraged so you can go out and get the millions that are out there just for your business.
I love that because again, it's utilizing the platform for everything. And even if we look at it just as just a big networking event, one of my biggest mentors that I'm bringing on, I found her through LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a project, and that can look in different ways, the government contracts getting certified and just diversity within for executives. And I reached out to her. And so she's an executive at Google.
Mm.
And she was like, yeah, let's connect. And from that first connection of her coming to an event that I held with two other ladies, from then on, it's like we talk at least once a quarter and just getting advice. And the part that tripped me out was that when we were talking, because, we became friends, that even though she was mentoring me, that because she poured so much into me and I'm getting information from other people, that it was a time that I was able to pour into her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, the relationship goes both ways. So when you mention the board of directors or having advisors, yeah, you can find these people on LinkedIn. There are people out there who want to help you and see you succeed,
Mm-hmm.
as an entrepreneur. So even talking about the entrepreneur space, like what else can they do to utilize LinkedIn?
Yeah, so one of the things, there's a couple of things that can be done. The first is get connected to LinkedIn groups, right? So joining a LinkedIn group that is in alignment with your area of expertise, right? So if you are an accountant, you may want to get into groups that interact with accountants. If you are if you have a specific location, so for example, I'm a member of the Virginia Black Chamber. I'm also a member of the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce. So using it to get into those communities and communicate and identify gaps. Another thing you can do is you can create your own publication, right? You can create your own newsletters, right? You create articles, and those articles then allow for that message to go right into that person's inbox for them to read it. Another thing you can do is you can do exactly what you're doing right now, right? So if you get your LinkedIn profile on creator mode, you can actually go live on LinkedIn, whether it's on video or audio, and begin to interact with people in real time, which is very important, right? Because now not only are you creating content, but you're communicating with people in real time. So if a person had a question, you can add value by answering those questions live, whether it's recorded or not. And so those are three things that can be done with regards to LinkedIn. Number one, getting in groups. Number two, leveraging the publications, which is LinkedIn articles, to create newsletters, and then going live on LinkedIn, whether it be through LinkedIn audio or through video.
Absolutely. I love it. And with you, you're not afraid. And I love it. Again, with me and Rob, we met. Rob was like, look, let's meet first before we pop on.
Yep.
And, Rob doesn't know he became my brother. So I was like, oh, hey, he loved LinkedIn. Like, what are we talking about here?
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many great people that are out here that you guys need to connect with. It is time for us to stop liking, people's shoes. I like shoes too. Um, you need to be somebody put in here a game changer. They need what you have, whatever it is needed. It's not too small, it's not too big. Rob, y'all, you see right there, he says he is the LinkedIn locksmith. I have been watching him. I totally agree. There's so many people out there who knows LinkedIn. You know, my biggest focus when I look at LinkedIn, it is to bring you up to make you the go-to vendor for Fortune 500 companies and for the government. You know, one of the things that I want to do, I want to make people's businesses a household name. And how do we do that? We bring you forth, making sure that you have this professional persona.
Right.
Y'all gonna keep hearing me say that. You can have fun all you want to. It's great. Have fun, have at it, but don't have so much fun that you're not taking care of your business. You need to take care of your business so you can have fun. All right. You know, don't sleep on the collaborations. You know, it's just so much that's happening. You know, don't be surprised if you see Rob and I, we do something else, because we will, because he's my brother, y'all. And
listen, when you got the black and gold on your side, you know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with the black and gold. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Michelle had me switching ties up at this joint. I said, "Look, I can't show it with the crimson and you know, I'm not showing no love. Shout out to the Kappas. Y'all got some time, you know, on stage with Usher. You know what I'm saying? Y'all good with the shimmy, but you know, when you got that black and old gold, you can't go wrong with the black.
You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. That's right. But you know, so now, Rob, you know, it's like I said, you know, we connected, so we're going to be connected. But how can people like really reach out to you? You know, because I want you to leave them with something they can think about. Again, like I said, it's all about the collaboration for me, because it's impossible for anybody to know everything. Thank goodness. And, you know, what do you have coming out? I know, you know, you have mentioned a couple of your books. You know, do you have any programs, you know, to help folks like, okay, I heard Michelle talk about LinkedIn. You know, she knows what she's talking about, but I like Rob. So I want Rob to do something.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I like you too. If you like me, I like you too, right? So so three things I want to leave with everybody is one, the collaboration creates currency movement is expanding. I mentioned when I first got started that we are looking to impact 100,000 lives. And so the way that we're going to do that is through my coaching community. So I have a coaching community specifically for entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, authors, speakers who want to create credibility in the marketplace, right? See, when you have credibility, I would not be here with you if I didn't establish credibility with Michelle. Right? If I was just some dude and I was shady, like I would be wrecking her visibility and her credibility, right? Because I go, who is this dude, man? He not no LinkedIn locksmith. His LinkedIn profile ain't even optimized. Who are you bringing out here? Now I'm messing up her image, right? So to create credibility in the marketplace is not about what you say. We can say how sweet we are. The question is how many people, when asked about you, are going to be able to speak highly about you in the marketplace. So I'm coaching folks. We're expanding that. It's a very small coaching community. So that's one way we can collaborate. Yes, I provide one-on-one coaching as well. I love coaching people individually because what I find is that some people may not feel comfortable being in a group, but they love to thrive in connecting individually. And then lastly, I'm looking for outlets to come out and speak. Whether it's chambers of commerce, women's groups, and we talked about that, you know, coaching communities. I'm looking for book opportunities to promote the book, Collaboration Creates Currency, which you can get from my website, collaborationcreatescurrency.com. A lot of times people want to start out at Amazon, and no disrespect to Amazon, but you know, I would not even know if folks bought books from Amazon because Amazon won't tell me. But I'll know exactly who orders a book when they go to collaborationcreatescurrency.com. As soon as I get that notification, I'm calling you, right? I'm like, Michelle, hey, I want to say thank you so much for ordering your 200 copies of Collaboration.
Come on, sir. 200. Did y'all hear that? Somebody needs 200 copies.
And if you want to use this as a branding opportunity to give to your clients, I will put your logos inside of the books. Right, that's what we doing, right? That's when we talk about collaboration. If I'm in places that you're not, why wouldn't we collaborate so I can win, you can win, we can win, right? But you can also visit, if you want to learn more about the movement itself, you can go to the Collaboration Creates Currency Movement.com. You see that listed, it's going through your screen. You can check that out and feel free to connect. And then last but not least, just hit me up on LinkedIn, right? But make sure you send a personalized note. And this is for anybody. It's not just me. If this is your first time hearing about Michelle, you want to connect there and send a personalized note so that people can know who you are and why you want to connect.
I love that. No, I appreciate that. Rob is right, because if it wasn't right after we met, I'd be like, all right, Rob, it was cool connecting with you. I'll see you on Instagram. All right, let's be honest. But honestly, support Rob. Understand the collaboration creates currency, movement. This is huge, guys. The money is out here. The collaborations is out here. And people need your gift. Rob, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you for those nuggets. I suggest for folks to go back, listen to the replay. He had dropped some serious nuggets. Until next time, guys, I'll talk to you guys